Welcome to the course Core Java Programming. Today's topic of discussion is Java exception handling. Let's discuss what is Java exceptions, how exactly these exceptions are handled in Java, what are all the advantages of exception handling, the hierarchy of Java exception classes, types of Java exceptions, exception keywords, few common scenarios of Java exceptions, Java try-catch block, and an internal working of Java try-catch block. Let's see what exactly an exception is all about. An exception in Java is an event that disrupts the normal flow of the program. It is an object which is thrown at runtime, that is during the execution time. An exception handling in Java is one of the powerful mechanism to handle the runtime errors so that the normal flow of the application can be maintained. What exactly an exception handling is? It is a mechanism to handle the runtime errors such as last not found exceptions, input-output exceptions, and database-related exceptions, that is SQL exception, and remote exception, etc. And the core advantage of exception is to handle, to maintain the normal flow of an application. An exception normally disrupt the normal flow of an application. That is why we use an exception handling. Suppose, for example, there are 10 statements in your program and there occurs an exception at statement 5. The rest of the code will not be executed. That is, for this program, from the statement 6 to the statement 10 will not be executed. If we perform the exception handling, the rest of the statements will be executed. That is why we use the exception handling in Java. Here you can see the hierarchy of Java exception classes. The java.lang.threadable class is the root class of Java exception hierarchy, which is inherited by two subclasses, exception and error. The overall hierarchy of Java exception classes just looks like this. The exceptions are classified as input-output exception, SQL exception, last not found exception, and runtime exception. This runtime exception is in turn classified into arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, number format exception, and index out of bound exception. It can be an array index out of bound or a string index out of bound exception. And what is an error exactly is? Error can be of Stack Overflow error, virtual machine error, out of memory error, or any assertion errors. So this is how the exception classes being classified. Next, we'll see what are the types of Java exceptions. There are mainly two types of exceptions, that is checked exception and unchecked exception. Here, an error is considered as the unchecked exception. According to Oracle, there are three types of exceptions, that is checked, unchecked, and errors. It's also considered as one of the type of exception. So let's see then what are the differences between checked exception, unchecked exception, and an error. Checked exception are nothing but the classes which directly inherits throwable class except runtime exception and errors are known as checked exceptions. Example, for here input output exception, SQL exception, and class not found exception. These are all the clauses which directly inherit the properties of a parentmost class, that is throwable class. So these three exceptions we'll consider as an checked exception. These checked exceptions are checked at the runtime. And what is unchecked exception? The classes which inherit the runtime exception are known as unchecked exception. For example, arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, and a number format exception. And also an array index out of bound exception. These are all the exceptions which directly inherits the property of runtime exception. Those exceptions are which are checked at the runtime, or that is nothing but which are checked at the execution time. Those type of exceptions are classified under unchecked exceptions. And what is an error is all about? Error is irrecoverable. For example, out of memory error, virtual machine error, and assertion errors, or it might be a stack overflow error. Next, let's see what are all the keywords which are used in handling the exceptions in Java. There are basically 5 keywords: try, catch, finally, throw, and throws. Let's see what are the meaning or the task done by these keywords. So try, the first one is try. It is used to specify a block wherein which the exception code will be placed. The try block must be followed by either a catch block or a finally block. It means we cannot use the try block alone. Next comes the catch block. The catch is a block which is used to handle the exception. It must be preceded by a try block, which means we cannot use the catch block alone. It can be followed by a final block later. Now we shall see the third keyword, finally. The finally is a block which is used to execute the important code of the program. Whether an exception occurs or not, or whether an exception is handled or not, this finally block will be executed. Block is basically a set of statements. Next comes the fourth keyword is throw. The throw keyword is used to throw an exception. It is used to throw an exception object. And next comes the throws. The throws keyword is used to declare an exception. It doesn't throw an exception. Instead, it specifies that there may occur an exception in the method. It is always used with a method signature. That is the header of a method. At the header of a method, this throws keyword is used. That is the difference. Throw keyword will throw an exception object, but throws keyword doesn't throw an exception object. Instead, it just declare an exception that may occur in a particular method. So these are all the like brief of exception keywords. Now we shall see a few common scenarios of Java exceptions which are listed below. Let's see one by one. The first one is an arithmetic exception. If we divide any number by 0, then occurs an arithmetic exception. The second one is null pointer exception. What do you mean by null pointer exception? If we have a null value assigned to any variable, and if any performing any operations on that particular variable throws a null pointer exception. And the third one is a number format exception. The wrong formatting of any value may occur number format exception. Suppose I have a string variable s that has a characters a, b, c. Converting this variable into a digit will occur a number format exception. Next, the fourth exception or the fourth scenario is array index out of bound exception. If you are inserting any value in the wrong index, it would result in array index out of bound exception as shown here. Here we can see in this particular example, we are declaring a memory or an array size of 5, wherein which my index starts from 0 to 4. I have a permission, I have an accessibility of adding a value of up to 0 to 5th index, or I mean 0 to 4th index. But if you try to insert a value in the wrong index, 10 is not being allocated. So when you try to insert any value in the wrong index, then it would result in array index out of bound exception as shown here. Next, let's see what exactly the Java try catch block is all about. Java try block is used to enclose the code that might throw an exception. It must be within a method. The try block should be declared or should be defined inside a method. What exactly a try block? If an exception occurs at a particular statement of try block, the rest of a block will not execute. Suppose example, if I have a statement, if I have 5 statements inside my try block, and if I see the second statement with some exception, then the rest 3 statements will not be executed. So it is recommended not to keep the code in try block that will not throw an exception. The unexceptioned code is preferably not kept inside the try block. Java try block must be followed either by a catch block or by a finally block. Here is how the syntax of Java try catch block and Java try finally block looks. Try followed by catch and try followed by finally. Now let's see what exactly a catch block is all about. The catch is used to handle the exception by declaring the type of an exception within the parameter. The declaring exception must be the parent class exception or can be a generated exception type. That is, based on the type of exception occurred in the try block, we are going to name particular exception. That is, the matching exception class type is named here. Such kind of exceptions are generated exception, and the parent exception is a normal exception that is named as exception, just an exception. However, the good approach is to declare the generated exception or a generated type of exception depending on the exception occurred in a block of try. The catch block must be used after the try block only. You cannot use the catch block before, vice versa. It's not, vice versa is prohibited. It's exempted. So the try block has to be followed by the catch block. You can use the multiple catch block within a single, with a single try block, multiple catch blocks can be used. Okay, let me show you an example for multiple catch blocks in the next thing. So here, Java multiple catch block is nothing but a try block can be followed by one or more catch block. Each catch block must contain a different exception handler. So if you have to perform different tasks at the occurrence of different exceptions, we use the multiple catch block. Depending on the number of exceptions that occurs inside a try block, that particular number of catch blocks can be added up after this try block. And what exactly the finally block is all about is, the finally block just has a set of code wherein which it executes all the statements. The important part of a program is placed inside a finally block wherein which this set of statements inside a finally blocks will be executed without considering whether an exception is occurred or not, or whether an exception is handled or not. Mandatorily, the block of set of code which is important will normally be embedded or enclosed inside a finally block wherein which this finally block is compulsory executed. It is least bothered about whether an exception is occurred in a try block or those exceptions is handled by a catch blocks or not. If it is not handled also, set of code at a finally block will be executed mandatorily. So that is why all the important set of codes are included inside a finally block. Now next, see what is an internal working of a Java try catch block. Here you can see the line of code which occurred at divide by 0, in turn named as an arithmetic exception. Once this this line is executed, what happens? An exception called arithmetic exception is occurred. In that case, an object of exception class is thrown, and the JVM named, which is acronym as Java Virtual Machine, which is an interpreter, will first checks for the exception, whether an exception is handled or not. If an exception is not handled, then the JVM provides a default exception handler that performs the following task. It prints out that default exception handler. What exactly does is, first thing, it prints out the exception description. Next, it prints the stack trace, that is the hierarchy of methods where the exception is exactly occurred. That hierarchy or the path where a particular exception is occurred, that particular method, the path of that method is printed, and finally it causes the program to terminate. But if in case if an exception is handled, if it is handled by the application programmer, then the normal flow of an application is maintained. That is, the rest of the code is executed. This is how exactly the internal working of any Java try catch block works. Then we shall see, before going to our next series, let me brief out what and all we studied in this lecture series. We studied what an exception is, how an exception is handled, and why an exception is required, and what role its hierarchy, and which is a parent most exception class, and which are all the subclasses which will be inheriting the parent characteristics. And we also had a concept of types of Java exceptions, which are all the types of Java exceptions, which are of 3 types: checked, unchecked, and error. And what are all these checked, unchecked, and errors? and we came across the keywords which occur in exception handling, and also we came across few scenarios of Java exceptions, which are all the basically occurring exceptions. Like these are all the standard exceptions which keep occurring over a time, and what exactly a catch block is all about. And then we studied what is an internal working of Java try catch block, how exactly the Java try catch block is going to execute. So in the next lecture series, we are going to see how an exception handling is handled, how an exception is handling using throw, throws, and finally. So for this series, we studied how an exception is handled using try and catch, and also a multiple catch, as well as a finally block. And in the next upcoming series, we're going to see how exception handling is um, done using throw, throws, and finally. And we will also come across the practical session on executing the programs on exception handling. We shall execute few programs related to exceptions. Hope you understand all the concepts that we discussed today. We shall see the we shall continue the next concept in my next lecture series. Thank you.